Episode 3 for Glissading Shadows. I'm your host, Halseer. Before I begin this episode, I want to dedicate this single episode to every woman in history, in the now, and in the future. I want to dedicate this to every single one. Because without them, mankind would never exist. And because of them, we still exist. Now, in modern times, woman has been disgustingly treated to a point where many are abused on all levels, seen as objects, and other atrocities that I can't even speak of because it honestly makes me sick to my stomach. It leaves a disgusting taste in my mouth. So, why? Why is woman treated like this, especially in this modern world? Simply put, nothing terrifies man more than woman being powerful, being in control, and having immense self-empowerment, worth, and high self-esteem. Nothing scares him more. It sounds pretty far-fetched, doesn't it? But that's the truth. From the story of Lilith being pretty much fanboyed at by Yahweh, to Yahweh completely disregarding her voice and demanding her be violated by Adam, to nowadays in some countries, if a woman defies man, she gets stoned, murdered, even the darkest, beheaded. As this world is supposed to be evolving, we need to understand that if we are to harm what keeps mankind alive and suppress it, degrade it, and treat it in a way that is completely disgusting and unacceptable, we, as a race of human beings, have a serious problem that needs to be issued a fix. And that's not an option. For far too long, this has been going on. And the only question I pose is why? What good is mankind going to gain for treating women how they've been treated? What is mankind going to gain from it? Other than showing the spiritual side, the divine. Wow. These human beings are pathetic. And it's just embarrassing. Because without a woman, none of us would exist. It's not that they're a threat. Absolutely not. What's so threatening about a woman being herself? Being allowed to express herself. Being allowed to artistically show her personality, her viewpoint, her skills, and her talent. What's so intimidating about that? Nothing. If anything, man should, instead of being intimidated and seeing her as a threat with that, Instead, man should be awestruck, amazed, and motivate her to keep doing so. Because when woman is in that constant flow of free expression without restriction, you will be able to see tremendously more than you can see now. And what's the most pathetic is that it is so simple to do. It's so simple. But man, based on what's going on in the modern day, cannot figure it out. And it's honestly just laughable and embarrassing. So, how can we start making change to uplift woman? Well, let's keep it simple. Number one, vulgarity that has been used to insult woman, to degrade woman, to attempt to bring her down. Any word like along those lines, delete it from your vocabulary. Delete it and don't ever use it again. And if you want to grow spiritually into higher forms of awareness and to better yourself, that first step is not an option, it's a must. Number two, listen. Woman, naturally, is blessed with the ability and the skill to be in touch with their intuitive, emotional side, and mental as well. Naturally, when they express and they allow their emotions to flow out, give your full undivided attention to them. Be engaged in listening and allow them to speak. And as soon as they're finished speaking, simply ask, how may I best provide security for you? What can I do to make sure you are secure? It's so simple. But sometimes all you need to do is be present, listen, and be engaged while she speaks. Because if you were to do that, I can guarantee there would be so much more connection between man and woman. Number three, in stories based on religion, when you hear of a queen figure, such as Queen Jezebel, do not see from a biased perspective. Instead, look at it from a neutral standpoint. Why did Queen Jezebel act the way she did? Did she act just because out of spite? Or did she act because as a queen, she defends her kingdom by any means necessary? Just a thought to think about. Queen Jezebel as well was seen to be the first woman to use cosmetics. Regardless of why, she was the first. And she got swung at, degraded because of it. When woman wants to express her creative side, such as in that manner, do not insult that, because that's just completely unnecessary. And if you find it threatening for a woman to artistically express herself, she doesn't have the problem. The person degrading her does. And if anybody else thinks that it's her fault and she's acting blasphemous because of it, no. That's little kid stuff. Enough of that. When woman, regardless of how she looks, regardless of how she puts herself together, one of the most beneficial and meaningful things you can do is be awestruck and compliment the time, the effort, and the attention to detail she put into her appearance. And keep in mind, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to make herself be appealing to any man or human beings at all, if she doesn't want to. But it all depends on her, what she deems fit. In fact, if she wanted to, she could care less what anybody else thinks and present herself however she deems fit. But again, that's all up to her. If you were to commend her for the time, effort, and attention to detail, and even say something along the lines of, wow, every time that you get yourself presentable and the way you present yourself, every time I'm just stunned in awe because of how flawless you look. And every time I get excited to see how you're going to present yourself tomorrow and the day after that. I can guarantee you, if you got in the habit of saying that, or even just a few times, that inspiration, I can promise you, will make such a difference. But something so simple, mankind and man tend to be aloof about it and honestly dim-witted about it. Not being sexist, just staying for how it is. And until it's changed, that's how it is. Now, the challenge for this week. If you are a woman, your challenge. Think of the many reasons how you can best express yourself. And however you deem fit to present yourself, say for an example, you want to make yourself appear in this certain way. Make yourself appear in that way, how you deem fit. And regardless of whatever outside influence does towards you, you do not allow it to affect you. If you want to make yourself be comfortable, flaunt yourself being comfortable. If you want to flaunt yourself being in a elegant and well put together way, such as like dressing up as an executive, heels, whatever you deem fit, well put together, do fit. If you want to express how you are naturally, do it. But no matter who, what society says, wherever, doesn't matter. You put yourself out how you want to put yourself out. Without fear, without any kind of thoughts of, I don't know if I'm going to look good. I'm not sure, people are going to like me. I think people are going to see me and think, ugh, none of that. You put how you want to be out there. That's your challenge. For the men, your challenge. If you happen to have a wife figure, a girlfriend figure, or any woman that is close to you, your challenge is to go towards her and ask her if she has anything on her mind that she needs to say. And the whole time, you engaged in listening to her. And you do not interrupt her, you do not ask questions, you do not argue. You allow her to speak until she's finished. As soon as she's done speaking, you then ask, is there anything I can do to provide more security for you? If she says no, then you do not need to do anything else. But if she does, regardless of what it is, do what you can to ensure that happens. If you're not able to do that, but you can start building towards it, do it. That's not a request. That's an expectation. And for a bonus for the men, the same figure, find minimum 10 things about that woman figure that you admire, appreciate, and what about them awestrucks you. That's your challenge, men. So, this was our third episode of Glissading Shadows. In our next episode, we'll talk about what it means to be Lilithian. What is Lilithian? What does it require? Can anyone be Lilithian? Why doesn't the whole world be Lilithian? And how can we best exhibit the Lilithian quality? That'll be for the next episode. Until then, good luck everyone for your challenge. Do your best. Men,